everyone, this is Clara Lawrence. Join me as I turn this into this. I make alcohol inks with resin art. Ooh, wow, this is fun. And you should see all the special effects. Well, I'm not going to show it to you now. You're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, colors will be at the end of the video, and I'll put all the links in the description. So subscribe and hit that bell, and let's have some fun. Bye. Hi everyone, this is Clara Lawrence. I am going to play with resin art, and Leslie had a video where she used this and an alcohol solution to create her own alcohol inks. And since I've been playing with alcohol inks for a little while and I really like where this is going, I thought I'd try this out because I really like using her products in resin. So we're going to do a little experiment today. I've already created some inks already by just using her pigments that she has and putting them in alcohol. And I have them in these little bottles here. And just when you mix up the color here, I'll keep you start seeing the little shimmering action happen there. And I'm excited to see what happens on paper, or on canvas, I should say. So let's see where this goes. So I'm just going to show you what I did with the bottles. And that way, if you wanted to do some of this yourself, you could. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll put down whatever colors I use, so you'll see that. And you can play around. So her pigments are already kind of, they've been, oh, I don't even know if you can focus on that at all. Yeah, they're kind of granular. Granular, is that a word? I don't know. But it's made up in a fashion so that it will dissolve quickly in resin. But alcohol breaks it down as well pretty fast. And you'll see that what I'm talking about when I start putting some of this into alcohol. So I'm using a 91% isopropyl alcohol. Well, that's a mouthful for me today. All right, somehow my lid got loose. That's not good. And I've got these clear bowls here. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. There's no measurement right now because we're just kind of playing around with it. If this works out, then I'll start playing with my proportions and see if I can come up with something that'll work well. I've got a spoon I use on a regular basis, and I just wipe it off after each use. But I've been putting about, it almost looks like 1/8 of a cup or so of alcohol, and about that much of the pigments in there. And let's see if it'll show it, how quickly it starts breaking down. Let's see. And then I've been mixing it with just a wooden spoon. And then you can see kind of the magic start to happen. And almost pearlescence in there. So I would imagine before I use it, give it a good shake, make sure the pigments are well distributed, and then apply as you would normally. So it's really exciting, or for me at least, to have some other options to play with, because, well, it's colors and I like playing with the colors. It is that simple. All right, and these little bottles here, I got these off of Amazon, but they're meant to put different solutions inside of them. And I will put the link on the bottom in the description. And so I'm just using a little plastic pipette to pull up the liquid and insert it into that area there. So let's see if we are able to focus on that so you can see that. The area that I usually do my arting in has much nicer. Oh, can you see that? Ooh. Yeah, I like playing with the colors. So I'm gonna fill up this bottle here, and then with the tiny nozzle, it should work out pretty well as far as applying the alcohol ink where I want it to be applied. And then usually when I get closer to the end, I've been giving it just a quickie stir to make sure I get all the pigments in here. There's a possibility of granules probably getting onto the board, so we'll have to see how bad that is. Or if it's bad at all. It might not be. There's some chunks there. This is a really pretty, not quite a burnt orange. It's kind of a rosy, there you go, rosy rust. We'll just call it that. And I've done up some colors that are in pink tones, some purple tones. There's a gold in there. And we've kind of got this nice in between rosy rust. I know it's not called that. Let's see, the appropriate color is Queen Stiletto. And you can see the bottom, it has a little bit, you can see the rose tint to it or pink tint to it, as well as the nice amber type of a color there. So that looks pretty interesting. So this is ready to go, and we will get to the next step in a few moments. Later. Hey everyone, I thought I would try out resin art in alcohol. So in other words, using this product, adding alcohol to it, and playing with it like it's an alcohol ink. So I'm just doing a test piece where I'm just playing with the medium. What I've done here is literally like took a color, mixed it in with a little bit of an alcohol, excuse me as I shake this up real quick, an alcohol solution. So to create an alcohol ink, basically. So with the test, we're gonna apply alcohol to the sides, see how it blends out and fades. And also I'm gonna use a couple other brands that I commonly use with alcohol, the Ranger and the Copic. I also have some Pinata. I might throw some of that in there too, and just see how they interact together. I really like this product with resin. And so I'm kind of excited to see what it does with alcohol ink too, especially with the direction that my art seems to be leaning towards now. It would just give me, you know, more options to play with, and you know, it's fun playing with colors, I have to admit. So we're just gonna goof off for a little bit. So no real plan except for the plan to play. How about that for a plan? Sorry. It's also my birthday, so I get to play a little bit as well. And you should see this solution when it starts moving around in the liquid. Hang on. I mean, it just looks like liquid gold. So it does seem to, I don't know if you can see this. Let me back up so I can look through the camera here. Through these little bottles here, when I put the solution in there and when it sits, it does seem to go down to the bottom. So shaking it is definitely a mandatory situation. And you see it distributes pretty quickly and comes off the bottom. Whoops. Really fast. But it does float to the bottom pretty quick. So just have to let you know that shaking is definitely part of the picture here. Okay, so what are we gonna do? So a lot of times when I play with alcohol ink, I usually have something in mind, meaning like painting horses or dragons or something like that. And of course I forgot my gloves, which is great. So I'm gonna grab a couple of those guys. Or I'm gonna end up with purple fingers. Not that that's really much of an issue, but we don't want to have purple fingers really, I guess. So anyway, what I was saying is I usually use alcohol ink. I usually have a design in mind, like doing a horse, a dragon, or some kind of animal Horses are kind of my muses. And I have a couple horses. So I'm going to play with applying the ink with brush. I'm also going to play with diluting it down a little bit with alcohol to see how it fades out from intense color to getting softer towards the end. So let's see how it goes. All right. So, no, I'll do the gold last as an accent, I think. I didn't write the name of the colors down. Sorry. But I will show a picture with the colors at the end. So you'll get to see that. All right. A few drops of that. Already looking pretty. I'm just applying a little bit more alcohol around it for right now. Like I said, there's no real plan. Just gonna play a little bit. See what happens. Some of my favorite colors from Rezin Art are the Wild Jasmine and was it Fantasy Fuchsia, which is a nice purpley pink color. So I'm really, well, the Wild Jasmine right there is just coming out going, hello! All right. All I'm doing here is applying a little bit of alcohol where the board seems to be drying up a bit. So that way I can start maybe moving the heat gun around and or dryer around and see what it'll do as far as disbursement. So it looks like the Wild Jasmine definitely darkened up a little bit after it dries. But as soon as the alcohol hit, it went intense again. So I'm wondering, I don't know. Like I said, we're gonna play. This is the Queen Stiletto, which is an interesting, really interesting color. It's kind of, I don't know, how do you describe it? It's almost like a burnt orange meets a rose gold kind of color. My eyes are not looking what my hands are doing. I'm already trying to take the cap off and it's already off and my eyes are floating around over here. Okay. A little bit more purple in here. So this time I'm going to try and apply the alcohol over here and see if I can get it to be intense here and feather out, or at least that's the plan. I need to test my volume and stuff and see if I'm talking loud enough, which is kind of ironic because I'm usually fairly loud, to be honest with you. This in here is looking really, really beautiful as they blend together. These pipettes are really handy. Let me try that a little bit louder, sorry. These pipettes are really handy for applying alcohol or even alcohol ink exactly where you want them. I don't know why I didn't try this earlier. I'm going to bring this up because there's something that you can't see. And there is, let's see if I can get it. I'm going to shift this ever so slightly. There you go. There's a little bit of it right there. So there is a little bit of a luminescence. Pearlescent maybe? Might be the better word for it. You see that little shift in shimmer? I bet that's what the, was it Ranger Pearls look like. Let's see if I can soften this up a little bit more. They seem to be lining up really well. There's a little bit of a grainy look to them. Just a little bit. But what it loses a little bit as far as the grain part, it gains some with that pearlescent. Now, I just ordered the Diamond Collection, I believe it is, or from Rezin Art. So I'm really curious to see what that does, because that has a glitter type of a shimmer to it. I bet that'd be really pretty. But I wonder if it would hold up with alcohol. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. You see how that jasmine right there kind of like went poink, meaning, there's a new term there, poink. Got really, really bright, but it'll get softer like this. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try, gold is always a tricky color. Actually, I think I'm gonna mess with this a little bit. Maybe add a little bit, this might be a good time to try some of my Copic. I picked a lavender to go with the colors that I've got now. And then I've got a salmon just to add a little bit of the warm tones like I was picking up from this one here. It's like hard to talk and work at the same time because the brain's on the piece about what you're doing, and the brain doesn't want to give the words out because it's busy creating. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of alcohol over here so I can also have some of the color here as well as there. So this is just to find out how the Ranger and the Copic work with the resin art colors. Let's see. Don't need much to test with it, just a little bit. Okay. The only thing that's bothering me is I got a couple little white spots here that look like mistakes. And we want it to be intentional design, not mistakes. Cover up one hole and another one comes up. Okay, now I'd like to add some gold. Let's see. And now granted, this is her mystery gold that she put out, a long time ago when she was starting up the Rezin Art colors. So, gold seems to be a tricky color for alcohol inks. Boy, this thing just shimmers as soon as you drop it down. All right, I'm gonna add just a few drops of alcohol, just for blending. Sorry about that. Wait, hubby was coming home. He brought home dinner from my birthday, and but of course, when he walks in the door, or anybody walks in the door for that matter, my lab Zoe needs to announce it. So you know that's her job. She takes her job very seriously. Unfortunately, the bark's really loud. So all I did was pretty much dry up what I was working on at that moment, and I'm applying this another little bit of gold and try and incorporate that in there. I'm almost wondering if I need to add a little bit of a purple so that way it doesn't look like it's disappearing completely. So we'll give that a try. Of course, with any artwork, there's always a little spot you want to tweak. So I'm going to tweak that spot. And I didn't shake it. So yeah, shaking apparently is a thing you need to do very often. Okay, I think we got some here. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys in for a close-up. Actually, you know what? I might bring this up to you a little bit more. All right, let's see if we can do this here. Get to focus on this. All right, I'm gonna shift this around and see if I can catch the light just so. All right, so you can see the gold there. And that zone here, you see how it's really pearlescing. So that is rather interesting. And even you get a little bit of shimmer in here where it gets really light. So that's cool, it keeps the shimmer. All right, so I'm gonna bring you in for a close-up officially. Excuse me. All right, let's get here close. So we got some really nice blends in there. It's a little bit, I would say, grainy, but not very much. I love the shimmer and richness of that. It's got a lot of depth to it. I see a lot of potential in this. And look at that gold. That gold almost sparkles like it does in resin. Or it gets that little dusting effect of like galaxy or sprinkles kind of thing. Is that a phrase? Galaxy sprinkles? I don't know. So really nice soft blends there. I was really pushing the alcohol, like as you saw, from this end here, down here, and then bringing it back just so it would deposit just the faintest little bit. And it sure did. And it's pretty nice. So, what do you think? Leslie, I approve. Well done.